Uh, okay, it's recording. What's up, hybrids? Welcome back to another episode of the Phantom Hybrid Podcast. This is Hanako, and I am here with Anthony and Mike, and we are discussing the season 2 finale of Marvel's What If series. And the title of the episode is What If Strange Supreme Intervened? And I am going to reiterate what I said in the last episode: chaos. Dealing with
And
Strange
or
Supreme. Chaos.
or what would happen if you just gave Peggy everything? Just just throw everything at her. Like, okay, first of all, let's talk
Not
about her.
throw thing, not throw everything at her, but you're literally giving it to her. If you say throw
Yeah,
things at her, it's almost like they're attacking her, and that was not what they were doing. They were
no, that shit
empowering
was
her.
crazy. I mean, it's like first off, I mean, Cohorty teleporting Killmonger out of his Infinity armor. I was like, where was
What?
this? Like we could you could have teleported Thanos out of the glove and we could have had none of this shit happen. We could have just did over like that. Like
I
shit.
was like, hmm, interesting.
It's just like in season one when Vision saw him and like cut him in half in like 1 second.
Yeah, it's
We've
the
been like,
same thing.
the fuck?
And it was
That shit
What
was
funny.
if does
crazy
not? What if does not give Thanos any love at all?
at
No,
They
all.
really don't.
He gets no props at all.
but the
Oh
funny
man.
thing about that is I rewatched this episode while I was in the midst of editing our episode 8 show. And we had this discussion about, we were trying to figure out what Strange Supreme was up to, going to get Peggy and going to get Cohorty. And I think I made a comment of maybe Doctor Strange thinks that Cohorty is strong enough to watch over Killmonger and Ultron. And Anthony was like, no, she's not. She's not. And I was like, well, this episode might say that you're wrong because she was holding her own for a look. I mean, like you said, she snapped Killmonger. Like he didn't even get a chance to get a blow towards her. She was just like, oh, let's just strip him out
I'll
of
take
this.
that. Thank
Get
you.
That was hilarious. Oh, and Peggy wielded that shit like a champ.
mm-hmm,
Like she was getting them licks in on Strange on Sorcerer on Supreme Strange
mm-hmm.
like one who is like not a joke. Like she's stronger than the regular Strange, and she was just like doing all like teleporting the shield and hitting him in the head with it. That was I love he was just like ow, what
Right,
the hell.
right.
He
Okay,
was
so
so
let's
dry.
start
It
from
was
the top
awesome.
because we pick up from the last episode, and Strange is there with Peggy. He's like coming in all buddy buddy. Oh, so you did what you were supposed to do here. Now you're stuck here. You're by yourself here. Let me change your little drink to some alcohol that hasn't been invented yet. He's like buttering her up, being friendly. And I was just looking at him
Side,
like this motherfucker ain't up to no good.
side note: if someone comes up to me and changes my Coke to a single malt Scotch, I'll do whatever the fuck he wants to do. I was like, cool. All right, what you need? I got you. Sure,
Well,
I'll
you
do
see,
whatever you
that
say.
almost got her in trouble. But I mean, he talked a good game because the way that he was presenting himself to her, you would really think that he had gotten his act together. Like he was talking about, oh, I just need your help with a little something, and then I can send you home, because she was like, hey, can you send me home? At that point, I was like, where's Awatu? He can't like hitch her right out of there. But
That was
again,
kind of my question too.
I guess
It's like
he
because
had
he
to let
already
things
offered
play out the
twice.
way they played out,
Yeah,
you know?
because he offered twice, and I was like, oh, he must think this must need to happen. But it's like maybe he was just like, I mean, he is voiced by Luther Wright. He's probably like, you know what, fine, learn yourself. He got that. The Watu's actually black. He was like, fine, whatever, you do what you want. I'll come see about you later.
No, I think it
I don't
may
know.
have been
I still think.
different. Oh, go ahead, Anthony.
I was gonna say. I still think Strange Supreme or Superior, whatever, has kind of blocked the Watu. Like he may be shielding them.
know if I feel like he's doing that, but I think because Awatu tried to get her out before everything happened with 1602, he was like, okay, this world is supposed to die. Let's go home. And she was like, no, not on my watch. And she actually saved that timeline. I think maybe at that point, whatever he was able to see for what was to come, maybe he felt like, okay, she needs to be here for this. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he wasn't expecting it to happen in the way that it happened, because Strange really like brought her to where, what did he say? I forgot what he called it, his headquarters, but I think him bringing her there under the pretenses that he did, like he was capturing universe killers, not just Ultron and Killmonger. He had a whole prison full of, I guess for lack of better words, variants for that multiverse. And he was like, yeah, these are the universe killers, I'm collecting them, blah blah blah. One of them got away. I need you to help me get her, because if she sees me coming, she'll see it a mile off, but you aren't unknown to her, so you can go get her. And Awatu is there with her doing his narration, and she's like, so you just gonna sit back and watch, or are you gonna help? And he's trying to tell her, look, I think we learned in the last lesson what happens when you interfere when you're not supposed to. She was like, yeah, but I ended up saving that world, so are you going to tell me I was wrong? And he was like, look, I just don't want to be around to see what could happen. And I think that was him trying to warn her that, okay, maybe this may not turn out the way you think it's going to turn out. Because what happens, she finds Cohorty, or rather Cohorty finds her, attacks her, but then stops and was like, he told you you were going to save the multiverse, huh? He's lying. We're not the universe killers. He is. And that's when the truth comes out. This motherfucker is still trying to save Christine, but not only trying to save Christine, he is trying to wow, what was I about to say? He's trying to resurrect his world that he destroyed. So he's trying to bring back not just a dead person, a whole dead universe. Dude, you lost your soul trying to resurrect a person the last time. What do you think you're going to do? But apparently he has figured out what he needs to do. He's taking all of these lost souls that he has snatched from other multiverses, and he has a big fucking ass forge that he is about to feed them into to bring this world to life. I was like, chaos, 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 chaos to the nth degree. What is he doing?
It's like, okay, see, it's like, I guess all the centuries that it took for him to gain his power didn't teach him anything. So he needed more time to figure out that to learn, and it still didn't take. I mean, it's like he is like, I don't know what Christine did to him. Like, but he is like, this is like super powered P-whip shit. Like, this is like umpteenth level. Like, okay, we're adults here. He's pussy whipped. He's like up here.
And I still don't get it, because I still don't see that.
I don't get it either. I mean, it's like, how do you not? You already destroyed the universe. Then it's like you say, "Oh, I can bring it back." No, you can't. You just like he's hard hit.
Okay, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, because we later learn in the episode that he has been corrupted. So it is possible that he was fine doing what he was doing, but when you sit around idle hands of the Devil's Workshop, he's got all these bad dudes in his head talking to him, speaking to him, and they probably started bending him, giving him like, yeah, maybe I could actually bring her back. And so, it's not really him anymore. He's sort of under the influence of all these negative spirits that he's absorbed.
And it's not even
at the end that took him over.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Mike?
The demon at the end that took him over then was probably subconsciously controlling what he was doing.
But that's the thing. It wasn't a demon. That was the manifestation of his grief.
Yeah.
That's
That
all
that
it was. His grief.
I mean, you call it grief, I call it an inner demon. It's the same thing.
Well, he
I know.
literally says, "My
Yeah.
grief will not let me rest."
Yeah. So that's what has influenced him to do this. You know?
Mm.
Yeah, but
And yeah,
dude. So
he can't let it read. I mean, that's, I mean, I guess that's like the ultimate love is like you destroy universe, then you try to create it again. It's like, yeah, that's literally doing anything for somebody.
but the whole time he was doing that, and even when he was trying to convince Peggy that this was the right thing to do, he was like, "You would do it for Steve." I was like, "No, the hell she wouldn't." Even
Why
though
does
they gave
everybody?
us the impression that she was thinking about it, like, "Would I do this for Steve? Would I do this for Steve?" Because he's over there doing whatever it is to Cohorte. He's trying to, I guess, re-imprison her, and she's fighting against him, but she's not quite that strong. And she's calling for Peggy. Peggy is looking back and forth between her and Strange. And I was like, don't y'all even sit there and give us the impression that Peggy is even considering this, because one, she wouldn't. Two, she knows Steve wouldn't dare. And three, Strange should know that Christine wouldn't. She literally told him this last season when she was there, right before he gave it up and let her go. She wouldn't want this. So yeah, I understand what you're saying, Anthony, that is his grief, but it's like, how did it get to that part? How did it get that far? He didn't let it go, even though
I
he
just
gave the impression that, okay, I understand what I'm doing is wrong. I've got to let it go so that, she can be at rest and I don't continue killing other universes.
No,
But it
he's
just,
out of control. He's
yeah,
out of control. He cannot control himself. Like the inf once it's like it's like the snowball effect. Like once he went down this path to absorbing all of those demons to make himself stronger to get what he wanted, he didn't calculate that as that snowball got bigger and bigger, it's going to be harder to stop.
yeah,
So the influence of the grief or the inner demon or whatever is still going to outweigh whatever conscious effort he makes to not do it.
yeah,
Because that's what set him off on this path to begin with.
yeah. That, and I think also his arrogance and his narcissism,
Well, that
because
those didn't help, but
yeah, but it's
no,
like,
but
you think you've got a handle on it, and maybe he did for the first, we don't know how much time has passed. So maybe he did for a while. And then, like you said, you sitting there and you thinking, you just like,
he's running the probabilities. He's thinking of all the things.
mm-hmm.
What could I have done differently? And he's running through those simulations in his head over and over again. All he's got is time. All he's got is time. So
Yeah. Yep.
I just want people to stop trying to manipulate Peggy by mentioning Steve. It's just like every time, like try to trap Peggy or like really hurt Peggy. It's like they bring up Steve. They're like, and it's like, I'm like, okay, y'all ain't going, you won't let her be with him. Then it's like everybody uses him against her, like mentally, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, that's just
Pulling on
fucked
those
up.
heartstrings.
Yeah, it's just, I was just like, man, just leave her alone. But
Right.
it's like towards the end, like I felt, I kind of felt bad for Strange because it's like, I mean, that's is I understand. I kind of understand what it's like not being able to let go and just
Mm-hmm.
like hold on to someone like that. But that's like, I mean, I mean, just to say you're fine and but really not be fine. You know what I'm saying? It's just like he's just not. He probably hasn't been okay. Even when there were the Guardians of the Multiverse, he's probably still wasn't okay. And it's like this is some stuff that's probably been still been with him even after he was put in that mini universe. he probably never will get over that or got over it.
The Guardians of the Multiverse, that was a distraction. That's all
Yeah.
that was. That
Yeah.
was just a distraction.
Yeah. But it just once again kind of it pulls us into that theme of, you know, unhealed trauma that Marvel is very good at addressing with their characters, and also just showing us what toxic love can be like, because that's not healthy by any stretch of the imagination. You know, not just not to just be obsessed with someone. It's almost like I kind of sort of feel like he's not doing this necessarily out of love, more than he's doing it because he feels like he's Doctor Strange. He should have been able to fix this. That's where I feel like it's coming more from. Not necessarily his love for her and his wanting to be with her. He feels like he should have been able to prevent it. And then after not being able to prevent it, he should have been able to fix it. He should have been able to reverse it. He should have been powerful enough or strong enough to prevent her death or to bring her back, to prevent his universe from falling. I feel like all of this is just, again, it's that narcissism, it's that arrogance, it's that ego that we are so used to seeing from his character. Because again, you know, we debate about different romantic pairings and ships. I have never, and I've said this before, I think I said in the last episode, I have never felt that kind of connection between Doctor Strange and Christine Palmer. I didn't feel it in the live actions. I didn't feel it I just don't get it. You know what I'm saying? And it was just, for him to go to the extremes that he is going to, I just don't feel like it's love. I feel like it's more of a selfish reason than what he's giving off. He's probably just telling us this is for Christine because that quote unquote makes it sound better.
That's how he rationalizes it.
Right.
Yeah.
But no. For it to get to the point that he got to, like, you were willing to risk all of these people to bring back your universe because you fucked it up in the first place. That's not love. That's not love at all. But so let's talk about some of these people that he had, because when Peggy finally decides, hey, I wouldn't do this for Steve and you don't want to do this, Christine wouldn't want to do that, you got to stop, and he doesn't. She takes the shield and she throws it around all of these orbs that's keeping these people prisoner. And so basically you have the equivalent of a prison breakout and riot, because immediately all of the prisoners, it's so funny. You would think if she freed all the prisoners, they would immediately go after the person who put them there. But no, they start fighting each other. Like, they find their mortal enemy across the hall and they start going at it. And you see all these different versions of these different characters. I saw Star-Lord. I saw one of the Dark Elves. I saw Rocket Raccoon. I think I saw the dragon from Shang-Chi. Just all of these different things who I guess were maybe evil versions of the ones we know in their universes, and they start fighting each other. And Kahori and Peggy are like, okay, we need to go find the forge before he gets to it, because he's going to throw all the prisoners in there, and that's how he's going to power it up so he can bring his universe back. So Kahori, she whisks Peggy away, and of course they start running into people. First of all, they run into the zombies, including Zombie Wanda, and apparently Kahori has been there long enough to know, oh no, I don't want to fuck with her. She was like, oh no, not her. And then Peggy was like, be careful there. She was like, yeah, I know, zombies are kind of universal everywhere. So they start
I love the music. Like, the music when she shows up, you're like, oh, that's like, oh fuck. Like that mean the way I gotta give props to the musical director of this show. Like because that gives you the as soon as that music hit that done, you're like, oh fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Like it elicits that from you. And it's like he did a really good job on that.
I wonder are they going to use that same music when they do the Marvel Zombies show?
I'm sure they are. I have no doubt. If they were
But yeah,
smart, they
so
would.
they start fighting. Of course, Cohorty starts fighting Wanda, zombie Wanda, and Peggy starts fighting everybody else. And when they finally get through with them, they move on to another hallway, and then here comes Thanos. And he's got the stones and he's about to snap. And then all of a sudden he disappears in the snap. And Cohorty was like, I didn't do that. Here comes Killmonger with his stones and his suit. So you think, oh, okay, so now they're about to fight Killmonger. That didn't happen either because Cohorty, she lifts Killmonger. She literally separates him from his suit by phasing him out of the suit. And then she phases him through whatever and sends him into the room with all of the other people fighting and the zombies. I was
Oh
like,
man.
not only was Thanos disrespected in this scene, Killmonger was too. Like,
Yeah,
okay,
that shit was funny as hell.
we
I
could
mean,
have used
he popped
Cohorty
out. He was
last
like,
season.
"What?" Yeah, right. None of this would have been perfect. I love how I think I mentioned this during the Cohorty one. Like she reminds me of the speedster from the Eternals. Like I think like
Mm,
she really gives me that vibe, and
yeah.
I it's like especially when she says after Peggy broke him out and she was like, "All right, hold on," and like zoomed her out of there. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, I would have earled all over." Be like, "Sorry," like,
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. After they get Killmonger out of his suits, they go into the room where, they find the forge and they get ready to start destroying it. And then, of course, Doctor Strange or Strange Supreme comes in with his little smart ass remarks. Oh, I really wish you guys wouldn't do that because that's how he's going to bring his thing, his people and his universe back. So this starts like very long fight sequence. Now, I will say this. Cohorty and Peggy are strong. They are strong together. But I don't know, something about what Doctor Strange is really in this point where he's like, okay, no, you guys are not about to deter me from what I'm about to do. I'm about to whip y'all's ass. I mean, they were given as good as they were getting. But this fight sequence was brutal on
yeah.
both ends.
Hmm.
And
Especially, oh my god, the multi strangers versus the multi Peggies was fucking incredible. I'm like, how long did that take? Like that shit probably took forever.
oh, you mean as far as to animate it?
Animated, yeah. Like, oh
Yeah.
my god, I can't even imagine. But that shit looks so good. Like,
Yeah.
holy shit.
But it reminded me, in the last episode, you were talking about how a lot of the what if episodes they do callbacks to other movies and stuff.
Right.
And I was sitting here thinking like, oh, that looks mighty familiar. Something like Ant-Man in Quantumania, that whole scene with all the different Ant-Men and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. Very familiar. But
Yeah, it really did. I mean, yeah, there were a ton. When they first saw when Hela got control of the zombies and she told them to kneel, it was almost like that scene in Avengers with where
Loki.
the old man was standing. It was like
No.
and it was defying him. It was like that was
mm-hmm.
kind of parallel too. That was
Mhm.
like I was like,
But she
okay, that
had a
was
scene
cool.
like that in Ragnarok too, with the Asgardians.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because I think that was right before I think somebody was refusing and she had Scourge kill them.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she was on the same, that big ass animal, whatever that thing was. She was on
The
that
wolf.
too. Yeah.
The Fenrir wolf, the Fenris wolf.
But yeah, that was funny because she was telling Peggy and Cohorty, she was like, Neil, Cohorty said, the last woman that told me that it didn't go well
for her.
Now, I would have liked to have seen that fight. That could have been just a little bit longer. But instead, we get Soltura coming in. I am the doom of Asgard. She was like, oh, here you go. I am the doom of Asgard. Yes, we know. And they start fighting. And then Peggy and Cohorty go and, do the thing with Doctor Strange. But
man, these last two episodes have been getting me a more of an appreciation for Kate Blanchett playing Hela. Like she showed out in, like, even that little B part, but she showed out in the last episode as like the way she handles that, like her superior sarcastic tone that she has is just like, okay, she's kind of like one of my favorite villains now.
She was one of my favorites, even from the live action, even though she did do quite a bit of damage to Asgard. But still, it was like something about the way that she comes across and the way that she kind of delivers her lines.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Yeah.
It makes her very, like I said, it was kind of one of those things where it's like, oh, you're bad, but I may just follow you. She just has that kind of charisma that she brings to that character. But again, my confusion with all the prisoners and everybody, especially with her in this one, why are you coming after the people who freed you? Go after the motherfucker that imprisoned you in the first place. Like, why are y'all all not banding together to stop Doctor Strange? Because he was the one that was going to put you in the forge and in your lives.
They're already unhinged. Come on.
Yeah.
But
like, most of these people are crazy. Like they're villains, they're crazy, and it's like this probably, it only takes one person nudging up against someone else, be like, "Don't touch me," and then all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose.
And we talk about absolute power corrupts absolutely. All of these people were like at the height of their power when he snatched them.
Then
so they were absolutely insane.
The motherfucker who did the
No,
snatching.
they were already insane. They didn't even see him coming. They probably didn't know that he did grab them.
They were in the prisons. They were in the little orbs.
Yeah.
They would have known at that point.
They're probably fighting about who's going to get to kill him. They're probably like, I'm going to kill him. No, I'm going to kill him. No, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill you. Then I'm going to kill him. And it's like,
how about we just all make this a collective effort and just do it once and for all?
They don't work well with others. That's one of the main reasons why they're in them damn jewels. That's the whole point of them being there.
He snatched them when they were that moment where they were the most powerful and like driven. And
they don't need nothing.
That's all they've been stewing in all this time he's had them. So you let them out. It's not. He's not going to be the. He's not going to be the. They're going to see their mortal enemy, like Mike said, and that's where all their rage is going to go.
But the mortal enemy isn't the one that had you sitting in a pod in the.
They don't care.
But you know what?
They're unhinged.
Why am I
trying to rationalize the irrational?
I was going to say, why am I trying to rationalize these people? They're stupid anyway.
Exactly. These people can't be reasoned with. It's like, especially most of them. I mean, most of them are probably, a lot of them are duplicates of certain characters. Like there were two Thors that were fighting each other, for God's sake. There were multiple, like, I mean, there was a freaking robot Rocket Raccoon that was,
I saw that,
badass, by the way. He was fucking badass. I was like,
I saw that.
And there were as smart and as tactical as Killmonger is, why did he go after them? Like, what are you doing?
I don't know.
Killmonger, I know, would have been trying to figure out, I need a way out. Maybe he was trying to get.
That's why he went after
them to get him out.
Because if you think about it, Killmonger and Thanos, they came through a portal. They were like, well, at least Thanos did. Killmonger probably was on the other hallway, but you notice that part of that little, I don't even want to call it a fight because they they didn't even get to throw, a punch. But they were on a completely different hallway from where all of the other chaos and melee was going on. So they probably were, well, at least Killmonger probably was like, okay, you know what? Let me find a way out of here and then I'll figure out what I'm going to do. But he didn't get a chance to do that.
Plot hole, they have the Space Stone, which they can teleport across space. And with the Time Stone, they can do space and time. But whatever, that's neither here nor there.
I mean, Cohorty is basically a human manifestation of the time.
She's a walking,
the
Space Stone.
Yeah.
Yeah, she really is.
Mm-hmm.
Literally.
Yeah.
But, whatever.
But Killmonger's Killmonger. Like Killmonger has such a heightened opinion of himself that he's probably walking around like, yeah, I'll just like I ain't got to worry about it. I'm gonna take my time. Then he sees Peggy, he's like, oh, I know you.
Yeah, he doesn't strike me as the type that would, even in this kind of situation, that would like run away.
No. Absolutely
so
not.
maybe go off to the side to kind of figure out what he's gonna do. What
he wouldn't have called it running away. He would have called it a tactical retreat.
Exactly. I meant to do this.
Yeah, go regroup, get away, regroup, get yourself together, figure out the next step.
Right.
Tactical retreat.
Right.
We're not running away. Killmonger does not run away.
Yeah. But
again, remember, he's also used to planning things out. He hasn't had a chance to figure out what he wants to do.
He really didn't have time to do that in this, because literally y'all get set free and then Doctor Strange is fighting with the two of them, and while he's fighting them, he's like, oh, okay, well, while I'm distracting them, let me go ahead and feed this forge. And you see all of the people start coming through these portals, and it's not even. So the crazy thing is, they're not even all evil. That's the thing.
I was going to say that earlier. Everyone he captured wasn't necessarily all evil people. Right. They were just people that were very powerful that he captured.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't need
Atarax wasn't there.
Cohorty's friend was there from.
Yeah, that's what I just said. Atarax was there.
Oh, Atarax, yeah.
Atarax was there, and like you said, there were a couple of Thors, and I don't think I've ever. Of course, I haven't read the comics, but I don't think I've ever heard of a reality or a universe where Thor was evil. Does one exist?
I'm sure there is an iteration that was evil.
I can't think of one off the top of my head.
Okay, so but while he's distracting them, he's got the other people coming through portals, and Cohorty is like, oh wait, I can send them home. I can change the portals and send them home. And of course, Strange keeps stopping her. So you have these people falling to their deaths, stopping right at the forge, and then going back up and stopping, and then falling back down. I think at one point I would have been like, look, just decide and just do it.
Just drop me. Just fucking drop me. I'm tired. Just let me fall. I don't give a fuck.
Right. Because at this point, this back and forth, that's worse than the free fall at Six Flags.
I know. That's like doing the free fall over and over and over, or the Great Gasp. That's really more like the Great Gasp. Remember that shit with the parachute?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just like that. It's like down, up, down, up. I mean, it's like they were fighting time stones. I was like, shit. And then it's like Cohorty was like, oh, let me just open the portals and send them back to where they're supposed to go. I'm like, ma'am, why? You could have done this like the first time they went up and down. Like, why didn't you do it then?
Well, she was trying, but I mean, if you think about it, one, she's trying to attack him at the same time Peggy is attacking, because they're thinking that both of them together can bring him down. And you see that it's working, but he kind of breaks his concentration, because what is it? Cohorty is running in circles on the wall, and he pulls out that piece of stone so that she runs into it. And it's just like, I think if she had been able to just like strictly focus on one thing, she may have been able to do that. But notice that every time she was trying to send them through the portals, that's when he would attack. And, she would have to kind of move to get out his way. And even though Peggy was trying to help, and trying to deflect, he was using the majority of his magical power. So he's fighting Peggy over here. He's fighting Cohorty over here. He still has the people falling. It was a lot going on. And I think she wasn't really able to concentrate. And then he pulls the move with, all of the multiples of himself. And Peggy does the same. They're fighting. And then he does something with his magic that knocks Peggy into what you call it? Not an illusion.
It's basically an illusion. Like it's almost his version of the Reality Stone. It's just like he sent her back to when she became Captain Carter, and it's like the only reason I'm like I was worried. I was like, she's gonna get trapped. It's like I'm glad that little butterfly was going by because she probably wouldn't have wanted to leave there because we know how she is because at the end the season finale last year. She really didn't want to leave. She wanted to go back because she was like, I have nothing. That's where I want to be with Steve. And it's like she saw him again. She was right there again. This is like the second time this season that she's been with Steve and reminiscing. And it's just like,
and given a choice.
The second time and a half, because technically she was with Rogers Hood, which is still a stupid name. So that's like it kind of 2.5, 3 times that she's been with the love of her life, and they haven't been able to be together.
But I don't think she would have stayed this time because even like the first time, like you said, when she was given that choice, she was considering staying because she really didn't have anything to go back to. In this version, like you could see her hesitating, even though he's telling her, yeah, you can stay. We can do this together. She's hesitating because even though she wants to stay there with him, there is something in her that knows she can't do that. She has to go back and fix what Strange has broken. And then you see the butterfly, and then it really snaps her out of it. But I don't think she would have stayed because I think that that feeling in her to not just be right, but to do right. She knows that what Strange is doing out there in the real world is about to damage a lot of things. It's about to hurt a lot of people. And I just don't think that she would be able to live with herself if she allowed that to happen. But you got to tempt her a little bit just to make it hard. But yeah, I don't think she would have stayed. And then, of course, you see her come out of that, and Cohorty was like, that's some wrong shit. Like, that was dirty. Even she was like, really? You stoop that low? So
he try to get his baby back. He don't give a fuck. If he would have stooped lower than that, he'd be trying to get her back. He don't. You realize there's nothing that he doesn't care about. He's stolen people from other universes to try to get his world back. What makes you think he's past doing a little bit of mind control?
I know. Believe me, I know. He's petty. That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because petty got him got.
Basically.
Because Cohorty is able to send all the people back to their worlds. You know what? Maybe not all of them, because as they're falling, Hela is the first one that's going down, and basically Dr. Strange is like, yeah, I'm about to wipe all of them out, and I'm gonna wipe y'all out, and I'm gonna have what I want to have. And Hela was like, no, what we're not about to do is have you win after all of this. So she throws her helm at Peggy, and then Thor throws Mjolnir, and then somebody else throws something. I couldn't even tell who it was, but all of these beings,
I think it was Wenwu through the rings, but he had blonde hair. But he had blonde hair, which was interesting.
No, it was white. It was like
I was gonna say it was white. Yeah, and then there was somebody else who threw all the swords. I don't know who that was.
One of them was the sword that was in the last episode, like it
was Thor through the Wakandan sword.
Yeah, the vibranium sword. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, they basically start throwing Peggy all of their weapons, and they're like, what was it? Hela said, "Give them hell."
Give them hell. I was like, nice.
Give them hell.
Well done, ma'am.
So Peggy.
So if when Cohorty picked up the hammer, Does that mean she was worthy?
Of course.
Well, technically, okay. I mean, I guess in
Course.
order to levitate it, you'd have to be worthy because she didn't really handle it. She just kind of levitated it.
I think she grabbed it once she levitated it.
Did she?
I don't know. But she was like you said, she was able to levitate it. So I'm going to say that she's worthy. And we already know that she's worthy. So
she's worthy. I mean,
she's worthy. But she picks up some of the weapons. Peggy picks up some of the weapons, and then she puts Hela's helm on. And I was like, this is such an interesting look. And I really want to see who's going to do it for DragonCon, because somebody is going to do it.
All this shit, every last bit of it.
Somebody's going to do it.
We're going to have the hammer, the shield, and Hela's helm.
Right.
And
with the infinity armor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We're going to have a few of those. I can see it now, and I can't wait. It's going to be so fucking awesome.
Right. But yeah, so they fight him to the point where they almost get rid of the demon, the grief demon, I guess that's what we can call it, out of him. And it seems like he's kind of almost back to himself. And then when Peggy is like, you've got to help me stop this, and he was like, I can't, my grief won't let me. And then that's when you see them motherfuckers come around. They look like the Nichavoya from Shadow and Bone. That's kind of what it reminded me of, like just the shadow monsters. And they were like, yeah, okay, so just because he's weak now and wanting to give up, no, we're not about to let him. So they get back into his body and they start fighting with Peggy again, and they start dropping towards the forge. Peggy is able to get away, but Strange keeps falling. And at one point you see him separated from the shadow demon in his body. And when Peggy calls out to him, because she was like, I gotta save him, he just looks at her, and then he literally closes his eyes and embraces that demon, because I think at this point he knows that the only way that this is going to stop is if he dies. So he falls into the forge, and the forge
I thought it was like a not a demonstration, but like a representation of him finally accepting his grief.
Yeah, I think that too. Yeah. But also, I think he realized that in order for that cycle to stop, he would have to die. Because if he had accepted his grief and come back, not having gotten rid of that actual physical manifestation of it, I think we would have been right back in the same spot for season 3.
Yep.
Right. It's like you have to know when to let go. And I think
what if Strange tried this? It would be, what if Strange tried this shit again?
Yeah, and I think he was just like, look, okay, I've got to be the one to destroy this in order for this cycle to stop. So he does that. It explodes. And Peggy wakes up and she's like, so I guess this means I'm not dead. Oh, speaking of which, because she's talking to Owatu during this, the conversation between him and Peggy and Strange earlier in the episode, like Strange and Peggy are talking about him like, oh, he's not going to do anything. He's just going to sit back and watch or whatever. I was like, y'all are really just talking about this dude like he's not watching this whole conversation.
So now we just add Watu to the disrespected list too.
Right. But you know what? Like, it wasn't disrespect. Like there was a little bit of teasing in that. And, even Peggy calls him friend in this. And I think Owatu even refers to her and Strange as friends in this. So I think it was just a little playful banter. But again, we talked about that in the last episode. It's kind of fun seeing him interact with these other people because it gives him a little bit more nuance as far as his character goes.
Yeah.
But he tells Peggy that he sent Cohorty back to her home world. Everybody else has been restored. And then where they are is Strange's universe. he actually was able to resurrect that universe, but it cost him his life. He was the sacrifice that brought it back. Christine is there, she's alive, but as Owatu explains to Peggy, he said, yes, he sacrificed himself for this world, and she's alive, the world exists, but it's a world where he was never born.
And now it's doomed. Dormammu is gonna come and take over that universe. So
exactly, and there's nobody to bargain with him.
There's nobody to bargain. Right.
But basically, I mean, basically, because he was trying to sacrifice all those people that he captured. He technically did sacrifice a whole lot of people because he had a whole lot of people inside of him from the first season.
Mm-hmm.
So he was probably so powerful. He was probably way more powerful than he needed to be, but it worked in order to make the Forge work like it should.
Right.
He would never think of self-sacrifice.
No, he wasn't trying to because he's greedy. He was trying to get back with his boo. He was like, I ain't sacrificing myself. Like,
I don't really think it had to do with her. I think it had to do with the fact that he wanted to be able to bring it back. He wanted to be able to fix what he broke. He was arrogant enough to think, oh, I should be able to do this. I really think that's all it was. Even more so than him, wanting to bring her back. Yes, I think he had feelings for her, but I think somewhere along the way it blurred. So I don't think that's what it was, but at this point,
lots of blurs.
The Watcher offers to take Peggy home, and she was like, yeah, we can go, but can we take a more scenic route? He says, oh, you have no idea.
I got some shit to show you.
And he shows her the Loki tree. That is the Loki tree.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't notice it the first time.
How you not notice it the first time?
I don't know.
I noticed it right off the first time. I was like,
I have no clue.
What we doing?
But I was like, oh, wait a minute. I was like, that tree looks familiar. And before I said it in this recording, I wanted to make sure I was right. So I stopped it. I looked at the tree, and then I went to the last episode of Loki, and I went all the way to the end where, they show the tree, and I was like, it's the same damn tree. I was like, so what does that mean? So what does that mean?
What if Loki,
he's doing what he's supposed to do?
What if Loki gets bored of telling stories? Yeah.
He can't get bored. He's constantly pruning the timeline. He's monitoring everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he is Loki. It's just like maybe he reverts.
He's really not Loki anymore.
No.
Strange Supreme reverted. Anything can happen. But maybe the writers get bored and want to write him that way. There. How about that?
No, I don't see
the
that
difference
happening.
is Loki achieved his goal.
Yeah.
Strange had not.
Yeah. Because I think Loki accepted his fate and what he was going to have to sacrifice and do in order to save the world, save the universe, save the multiverse. Strange didn't realize it until he was almost in the Forge.
Right.
But he did the same thing last season. He didn't accept what he was going to have to do until literally everything was falling apart around him. So yeah, he's one of those people that he's not ever going to make the right decision for everybody else. He's going to forever try to do it his way. And if it doesn't work his way, he's going to keep fucking things up until it works his way or until there's no alternative left but for him to sacrifice. He did it in season 1. He had to sacrifice what he was fighting for. And then this season, he actually had to sacrifice his life.
Yep.
I tell you, that arrogance and narcissism, it'll get you every time. Every single time.
Every time.
But I hope Peggy gets to go home. I don't know from this point on what we can expect in season 3. I know that there have been some things kind of floating around about some of the episodes that they may be shooting, but I haven't paid attention to any of that, and I don't know if I'm going to. I think I kind of want to go into it surprised.
So you didn't see the one teaser?
A teaser for what?
They
next
had a
season?
teaser for season 3. I think I did watch it, but
No, I
I
didn't watch
honestly
it.
don't remember
It
what
was
was in
so
it.
good. It was so good. I was like,
So so
it
we'll
was
see.
beautiful. Yes, it's gonna
We'll
be
see.
it's gonna be so dope. It was
Okay.
that little bit. It was like 2 minutes, but I was like, oh,
Was it that long?
that's dope.
It was that long?
Yeah, about two
Okay.
minutes. It wasn't longer than like 2 or 3 minutes. It was just like a little short preview. It might
Okay.
might not even. You're right. It might not even been 2 minutes, but oh no, it's about 2 minutes. But
Okay.
it was fucking incredible.
Okay. So yeah, I think I saw it, but I don't remember it, and that's probably a good thing because, like I said, I kind of want to go into the next season blind. Now I know once they start releasing trailers, I probably will be like, "Oh, here's the trailer. Let me go." But for right now, that is my goal is to
Uh,
go into it blind because with the way that they ended this season with the tree, I I don't know what to expect. So I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna sit back and watch and see what happens. Um, and see what adventures Peggy is gonna be on for next season because it's obvious now, especially through these 2 seasons. I mean, they started the whole series off with what if Peggy Carter was the first Avenger. So
mhm.
it's obvious she's going to be the mainstay through all of these whatever stories they tell through this series. And I think season 3 is the last season, or was it season 4? I think it's season 3.
Yeah,
So
season 3 is the last one. I think they canceled 4.
so yeah, I can't wait to see what adventures she will be on. Her and her new friend Oatu, her new BFF. So yep.
Shenanigans.
I,
Yeah,
right.
shenanigans.
Right. What did Strange say about him? His big head and small body and some else. I was like, that's just mean. He can't help it. He has a big head. But anyway, um,
Huge.
you guys have any final thoughts on this episode?
I
Right.
enjoyed this episode. It was fun. It was interesting seeing all the different versions of characters. I think at one point it was like Vision and Captain Marvel. At some
Mm-hmm.
point we're going at it, and um I really thought it was really cool when Hela took over the zombies. Was like, I am
Yeah.
the queen of the dead. What did you expect? You know,
Yeah. She
I
was
thought that was
awesome.
cool.
I would
Yeah,
have liked to
and
have seen a fight between her and Zombie Wanda.
It
I
wouldn't have been
believe
done
she
because
would probably.
she could have controlled her. She was a zombie.
Yeah, I think
So
she
it
would have
wouldn't
been
have been
able
done
to
for a
control
fight.
her.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like
Shout out to the grief demon absorbing Odin's spear Gungear, and then you see like the smiley face on his palm after he absorbed it. I was
Oh, and
like,
he turned Mjolnir into a snack.
like, yeah, for
right.
real. Like holy shit. And then shout out to Peggy doing like angering all the fanboys by grabbing all the Infinity Stones in her hand and punching him. And like, how? How? You're not supposed to be able to. You can't do that. Actually, she should burn. Her hand should be burnt. Actually, like, like just dope. Just leave it alone.
But
I mean,
fanboys, she didn't use all the stones at the same time. If you watch, they always color coded the ones she was using.
No, he's
yeah,
talking about the end when
I
she
know,
grabbed all of the stones and punched him.
I
She
know,
did have all of them in her hand at
I
that point.
yeah.
know. I
Actually,
don't.
she misused the stones. Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, she had the suit on. The suit just probably embodied her in whatever it was that she needed to wield the stones at all times and not just through the armor. That's what we're going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's what we're
yeah,
going.
Yeah.
yeah.
Shout out to Marvel for once again proving doing a good job of being a therapist by showing us how to properly deal with grief and sadness and loss one more
That
damn
is not
time.
properly.
Okay, but I mean, after all, I mean,
Obliterate all universes to help me deal with my grief. Yes, and
what
loss.
is grief but universes ending
No.
and not persevering?
sacrifice so many people so that I can bring back the universe that I screwed up. I destroyed.
At least he was trying.
Sacrifice so many people to fix my mess. Really?
He was trying.
Look, there's really no redeeming qualities to this. It's like he was just doing something he really should not be fucking doing, and it's like, bruh, it's like I can't condone none of this. Like, I can't do it.
What was it they said about him in Multiverse of Madness? They was like, everywhere you go.
Mm-hmm. Just fucked up everywhere.
You just destroy everything.
Everything.
Yes.
So.
Oh my God.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is a great season. This whole season was actually really fucking good.
No, it wasn't.
Shut up.
You know,
look here, man. We're not
starting this shit again, about to start this again, sir.
No, I could look. I like this season. I thought.
What did you not like about the season, Anthony?
We don't have enough time today to go with it.
Okay, whatever. aside from the Falcon and Rhodey thing, what did you not like about this season?
That's most of it right there.
Oh, okay.
That's one freaking episode.
No, it's not. It's 9.
No, he's talking about over the course of the series.
Oh, right,
because
right,
like I said,
yeah.
In the first season, I know we saw Sam. I don't remember if we saw Rhodey, but Sam, we didn't even get to see like Sam. We saw zombie Sam.
Rhodey got killed by Killmonger.
Oh,
in the Black Panther episode,
right? Okay. So
either way, this season we got. I'm not going to go into it, but
yeah,
yes.
we already know.
Please.
No, we already know he's mad because we didn't get any Sam this season. We didn't get any Rhodey this season. We got a little bit of Killmonger towards the end, but other than that, no, we didn't. I don't even.
Samuel, we got some Fury.
We got some Fury. I think we got a little bit of T'Challa at the beginning. He was voiced by somebody else, though.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, it was either T'Challa or T'Chaka. It might have been T'Chaka.
It was T'Chaka.
Yeah, that was T'Chaka. Yeah, in episode 2. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but yeah, we're gonna hope that the storyline calls for the characters in season 3.
What color?
Hashtag what if so white?
You know what? And on that note, that is it for our show. You can find us online at www.fandomhybrid.com. We are on social media, on all the social medias at Fandom Hybrid. You can chat with us on our Discord channel. You can watch our videos on our YouTube channel, and you can listen to us on all major podcast streaming platforms. Thanks for listening. We hope you join the conversation next time.